Short moment of silence.
So, you're a successful entrepreneur. Your business is growing, you're making good money, but are you actually building serious, lasting wealth? In this explainer, we're going to show you how one critical shift in how you structure your business can be the key to turning those profits into real financial freedom.
You know this quote from Evelyn Jacks? It just hits the nail on the head. It's not about the big revenue numbers you post on social media. It's about the bottom line wealth that actually ends up in your pocket. And today, we're going to dig into exactly how you can maximize that number.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with a problem that, honestly, is a pretty good one to have. Then we'll get into the power of incorporation, all the cool advantages that come with it, some next-level strategies for families, and of course, how to cash out with a huge, tax-efficient win. Let's get to it.
All right, let's dive in with a story. I want you to meet Thomas. His journey is probably going to sound pretty familiar to a lot of you. It's a story about the incredible highs, but also the hidden traps of growing a business really, really fast.
You know the story, right? It all starts in the basement. Just an idea, a whole lot of grit, and maybe a computer on a payment plan. That was Thomas, building his dream from the ground up.
And wow, did that hard work pay off? I mean, look at this growth. After a tough first year, which is totally normal, by the way, his income just exploded. By year 3, he's clearing 6 figures in profit. The business is a certified success.
So you're looking at these numbers and thinking, problem? What problem could there possibly be? He survived the startup grind, he's making great money, what's not to love? But trust me, there was a storm brewing just beneath the surface.
And here it is, the catch. The problem that creeps up on so many successful business owners. With every win, every new client, his tax bill just got bigger and bigger and bigger. He was hemorrhaging cash to the tax man, a classic mistake when you're focused on growth and not on structure. So, what's the fix for a problem like Thomas's? Well, it's not about making less money, no way. It's about a single strategic move that changes the whole game. It's about making your money work smarter, not just harder. Okay, let's break this down. It's really a tale of two worlds. On one side, as a sole proprietor, you and the business are one and the same. If the business gets into trouble, your house, your car, it's all on the line. But as a corporation, it's like putting up a financial shield. The business becomes its own legal person, which protects your personal stuff and unlocks massive tax advantages.
So a great question is, why not just incorporate from day one? Well, it all comes down to timing. In those early days, when you might have losses, like Thomas did in year 1, you can actually use those business losses to lower your personal tax bill. Pretty cool, right? But once you're profitable, that's your cue. That's the moment to flip the switch and incorporate.
So this is where it gets really good. What goodies are in this financial toolkit you get when you incorporate? Let's take a look.
Just look at this. I mean, this chart says it all, right? The difference is just staggering. As a high earner, you can be paying over half of your top-end income in taxes. But inside a small business corporation, that rate just plummets. This isn't a small change, it's an absolute game changer for building wealth.
And yeah, the exact numbers vary a bit depending on where you live, but don't get bogged down in the details. The story is the same everywhere. See that first column, active business income? That's the sweet spot. It is always dramatically lower than anything else. That difference is pure fuel for your company's growth.
So let's recap this awesome toolkit. You get a shield that protects your personal assets. You get a tax-slashing machine to keep more of what you earn. You get way more purchasing power with those after-tax corporate dollars. You get a tax deferral engine, and you get total flexibility in how you pay yourself. It's the whole shebang.
Let's double-click on tax deferral for a second, because this is a huge one. Think of your corporation as a supercharged piggy bank. Instead of paying all the profits out to yourself and getting hammered by personal tax rates, you leave the money inside the company. There, it's taxed at that super low corporate rate, so you have way more left over to reinvest and grow. It's like putting your wealth creation on hyperdrive.
Okay, now if you have family involved in your business, things can get even more powerful. But, and this is a big but, the rules have changed. You absolutely have to know the new playbook or you could find yourself in some hot water. And this is the big one. It's called TOSI, or Tax Unsplit Income. Basically, the government cracked down on what they called income sprinkling. You know, paying your spouse or your kids a dividend just to use their lower tax brackets. Now, if you want to do that, you have to follow some very strict new rules, or that money gets taxed at the highest rate possible. Ouch.
So how do you make sure you're playing by the new rules? It all comes down to one word: reasonable. Is your family member actually working in the business in a meaningful way? Did they contribute their own money or property? Are they personally on the hook for any of the business's risk? You have to be able to prove it, because the burden of proof is on you.
All right, let's circle back to Thomas, because after all this hard work and smart planning, he's about to hit the jackpot. This is where all that boring structural work leads to the ultimate payoff.
$2 million for the business he started in his basement. It's the dream, right? But remember our theme from the very beginning: what matters is what you keep. The next couple of slides are going to show you why that planning is so incredibly important.
And this is where the magic of planning really shines. On the left, it's just Thomas selling. On the right, it's Thomas and his wife Pat. Now, why does this matter? Because of something amazing called the Capital Gains Deduction. It's basically a get-out-of-tax-free card for a huge chunk of the sale of your business. And guess what? You can both use one.
And look at the result. The bottom line is just jaw-dropping. If Thomas had gone it alone, he would have written a check to the government for over $250,000. But with Pat as a shareholder from early on, they both use their deduction. Their tax bill shrinks to almost nothing, and they literally put an extra $200,000 in their pocket. That's the power of planning.
Okay, so we've gone through a ton of powerful concepts here, but turning all this information into your reality, that takes a pro. You need a personalized action plan, not just a general idea.
So here's your homework. I want you to book a meeting with your tax advisor, and you're going to walk in with these exact questions. When's the right time for me to incorporate? Should I bring in my spouse as a shareholder? How do I pay myself? Salary, dividends, or a mix? What's my business actually worth? And the big one, how do we make sure my business qualifies for that massive capital gains deduction?
So I'll leave you with this question to really think about. Take a hard look at your business right now. Is it just a job that's making you a good income? Or is it truly structured to build and protect serious generational wealth for you and your family? Because the difference isn't small. It could be everything.